Alright, so in my previous videos I have discussed topics such as: does Islam allow for the beating of women? Did Islam permit sex slaves and rape? What is Mut'ah and how it is degrading for women? And does Islam allow marriage and intercourse with prepubescent girls? I'll leave links in the description so you can watch those videos at your own time. But the topic we will be discussing today is the negative treatment towards women in Islam. An overview of the subtopics we will be looking at in this video is: the testimony of a woman being half of a man's, hell consisting mainly of women, salat prayer being annulled by the passing of a woman being told they should have sex with their husbands even when they are busy, angels cursing a woman who refuses to have sex with their husband, and women being compared to a tilth where their husband sows their seed. The first thing we'll take a look at is the testimony of a woman being equal to half of a man's testimony. We find this in Quran chapter 2 verses 282. It says, "Call upon two of your men to witness. If two men cannot be found, then one man and two women of your choice will witness. So if one of the women forgets, the other may remind her." So we can see from this Quran verse that if two men cannot be found to witness, then they need to call one man and two women. This is because the women are forgetful and one woman may need to remind the other of what happened. But let's go to the tafsir of Ibn Abbas, Muhammad's cousin, to make sure I'm understanding this verse correctly. It says, "And call to witness for your rights from among your men 2 witnesses, from among your free Muslim men who are of good character. And if 2 men be not at hand, then a man and 2 women, of such as ye approve as witnesses, from among people who are reliable in their witness, so that if one erreth through forgetfulness, so that if one of the women forgets, the other who did not forget will remind her." So we can see from this that Ibn Abbas is saying that women are forgetful, and that is why we need 2 women to stand in for 1 man when witnessing. Additionally, let's go to Sahih al-Bukhari 2658 to see what it says about the witness of a woman being equal to half of a man's. It says, "The Prophet said, 'Isn't the witness of a woman equal to half of that of a man?' The woman said, 'Yes.' He said, 'This is because of the deficiency of a woman's mind.'" So we can see from this hadith that Muhammad is affirming that the witness of a woman is equal to half that of a man's, and this is because they are deficient in their mind. So we can see from the Muslim sources that the testimony of a woman is half that of a man's because they are forgetful and there is a deficiency in their mind. Now we'll take a look at the second subtopic, that women make up the majority of people in hell. Sahih al-Bukhari 3241. The Prophet said, "I looked at paradise and found poor people forming the majority of its inhabitants, and I looked at hell and saw the majority of its inhabitants were women." So we can see from this hadith that the majority of the people in hell are women. We see this again in Jami at-Tirmidhi 2602 and Jami at-Tirmidhi 2603. So we can see from these hadiths that women make up the majority of the people in the hellfire. But let's go a little bit further and see why they make up the majority of people in hell. Sahih al-Bukhari 304. Once Allah's Messenger went out to the Musalla to offer prayer of Eid al-Adha or al-Fitri prayer. Then he passed by the woman and said, "O woman, give alms, as I have seen that the majority of the dwellers of the hellfire were you women." They asked, "Why is it so, O Allah's Messenger?" He replied, "You curse frequently and are ungrateful to your husbands. I have not seen anyone more deficient in intelligence and religion than you. A cautious, sensible man could be led astray by some of you." The woman asked, "O Allah's Messenger, what is deficient in our intelligence and religion?" He said, "Is not the evidence of 2 women equal to the witness of 1 man?" They replied in the affirmative. He said, "This is the deficiency in her intelligence. Isn't it true that a woman can neither pray nor fast during her menses?" The woman replied in the affirmative. He said, "This is the deficiency in her religion." So we can see from this hadith that the idea that women make up the majority of hellfire is being confirmed again, and when asked why they make up the majority in the hellfire, Muhammad replies by saying they curse too frequently, they are ungrateful to their husbands, they are deficient in intelligence and in religion. And when Muhammad is asked why they are deficient in intelligence and religion, he responds by saying, "Is not the evidence of 2 women equal to the witness of 1 man? And that when a girl is menstruating she cannot pray or fast." So Muhammad is saying that women are going to go to hell because they are dumb and they are deficient in intelligence, even though this is completely untrue, and because they menstruate, which is something that they can't even control. We see Muhammad say the same thing in Sahih Muslim 79a. It says, O womanfolk, you should give charity and ask for much forgiveness, for I saw you in bulk amongst the dwellers of hell. A wise lady among them said, Why is it, Messenger of Allah, that our folk is in the bulk in hell? Upon this the Prophet observed, You curse too much and are ungrateful to your spouses. I have seen none lacking in common sense and failing in religion, but at the same time robbing the wisdom of the wise besides you. Upon this a woman remarked, What is wrong with our common sense and with religion? He, the Holy Prophet, observed, Your lack of common sense can be well judged from the fact that the evidence of 2 women is equal to 1 man. That is a proof of the lack of common sense, and you spend some nights and days in which you do not offer prayer in the month of Ramadan. During the days you do not observe fast. That is a failing in religion. So we see from this hadith again that Muhammad is saying that women make up the bulk of people in hell, and this is because they curse too much, are ungrateful to their spouses, they lack common sense, and they fail in religion. They also rob the wisdom of the wise. We continue to see that Muhammad was saying women make up the majority of people in hell in other hadith such as Jami at-Tirmidhi 2613, Sahih al-Bukhari 1052, Sahih Muslim 907a, and Sunan an-Nasai 1493. So we can conclude from these hadith that Muhammad said women make up the majority of people in hell because they curse too much, are deficient in intelligence and religion, they rob the wisdom of the wise people, and they are ungrateful to their husbands and good deeds that people do. Now we'll move on to my third point, that the prayer gets cancelled if a woman passes by. We find this in Jami at-Tirmidhi 338. Allah's Messenger said, When a man performs salat and there is nothing in front of him, like the post of a saddle or a camel saddle, then the salat is severed by the passing of a black dog, a woman, and a donkey. So we can see here when a Muslim man is praying salat, it will be severed if a woman passes by. We also see this in Sahih al-Bukhari 514. Narrated Aisha, the things which annul prayer were mentioned before me, and those were a dog, a donkey, and a woman. I said, You have compared us women to donkeys and dogs. So we can see from this hadith that prayer is annulled by a woman passing by, and women were being compared to donkeys and dogs. Moreover, we also see this in Sahih al-Bukhari 511. Narrated Aisha, the things which annul prayers were mentioned before me. They said, Prayer is annulled by a dog, a donkey, and a woman, if they pass in front of the people praying. I said, You have made us, i.e. women, dogs. So this hadith reaffirms the idea that if a woman passes in front of a person while they're praying, their prayer will be annulled. And it also shows that women were being compared with dogs. Some more hadith that say that the prayer is severed by a woman passing by is Sunan ibn Majah 949, Sunan ibn Majah 950, Sunan ibn Majah 951, and Sunan ibn Majah 952. So we can see from these various hadith that the prayer becomes invalid if a woman passes by, and that women were being compared to donkeys and dogs. Moving on, now let's take a look at how women are told that they should have sex with their husbands even if they are busy. This is found in Sunan ibn Majah 1853. Abdullah bin Abu Awfa said, When Muwaid bin Jabal came from Sham, he prostrated to the Prophet, who said, What is it, O Muwaid? He said, I went to Sham and saw them prostrating to their bishops and patricians, and I wanted to do that for you. The Messenger of Allah said, Do not do that. If I were to command anyone to prostrate to anyone other than Allah, I would have commanded women to prostrate to their husbands, by the one in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad. No woman can fulfill her duty towards Allah until she fulfills her duty towards her husband. If he asks her for intimacy, even if she is on her camel saddle, she should not refuse. So we can see from this hadith that no woman can fulfill her duty towards Allah unless she fulfills her duty towards her husband. And if her husband asks for intimacy, i.e. sex, then even if she is on a camel saddle, she should not refuse and she should go have sex with him. We also see this in Jami at-Tirmidhi 1160, where it says, When a man calls his wife to fulfill his need, then let her come, even if she is at the oven. We see Muhammad say a similar thing in Sahih al-Bukhari 5151, where it says, The Prophet said, The stipulations most entitled to abide by are those with which you are given the right to enjoy the woman's private parts, i.e. the stipulations of the marriage contract. This basically meaning that sex is part of the agreement in the marriage contract, so the husband has rights over his wife's private parts. So we can see from these hadith that a woman should not refuse to have sex with her husband even if she is busy at the oven or on the camel's saddle. This brings me to my next point, where if a woman refuses to have sex with her husband, the angels will curse her until the morning. We find this in Sahih al-Bukhari 5193, where it says, "The Prophet said, if a man invites his wife to sleep with him and she refuses to come to him, then the angels send their curses on her till morning." So we can see that the angels will curse the wife until the morning if the woman refuses to have sex with her husband. We also see this in Sahih al-Bukhari 5194, where it says, "The Prophet said, if a woman spends the night deserting her husband's bed, does not sleep with him, then the angels send their curses on her till she comes back to her husband." So we can see that if a woman does not spend the night with her husband, the angels will curse her until she comes back to her husband. We continue to see Muhammad say that the angels will curse the wife for not having sex with her husband in Sahih al-Bukhari 3237, Sahih Muslim 1436a, Sahih Muslim 1436c, Sahih Muslim 1436d, and Sunan Abu Dawud 2141. So it's clear from these hadith that if a woman refuses to have sex with her husband, the angels will curse her until the morning or until she returns to her husband. Now we'll take a look at my last point, which is wives being described as a tilth, as they are a place for men to sow their seed. We find this in Quran chapter 2 verse 223. It says, "Your wives are as a tilth unto you, so approach your tilth when or how ye will, but do some good act for your souls beforehand. And fear Allah, and know that ye are to meet Him in the hereafter, and give these good tidings to those who believe." So we can see here that Allah is describing wives as a tilth that you approach when or how you want. But to make sure I'm not misrepresenting the verse, let's go to the tafsir of Ibn Abbas again to see what he has to say about the verse. He says, "Your women are a tilth for you to cultivate." He says, "The vulvas of your wives are plantations for your offspring, so go to your tilth, your plantations, as ye will, as you please, from behind or front, as long as the penetration is in the pudendum. And send good deeds before you for your souls, righteous children, and fear Allah regarding penetrating your wives in their anus or having sex with them during menstruation." So we can see from this tafsir that Ibn Abbas is saying that the women are like a tilth that you cultivate and plant your seed in, and you should have sex with them however you want, from the front, from the back, as long as it's in the vagina. Now let's take a look at the Jalal's tafsir to get a bit more context behind the verse and what was happening at the time. It says, "Your women are a tillage for you, that is, the place where you sow the seeds of your children, so come to your tillage, that is, the specified place, the front part, as in whichever way you wish, whether standing up, sitting down, lying down, from the front, or the back." This was revealed in response to the Jews saying that if a person had vaginal intercourse with his wife from behind, the child would be born cross-eyed. So from the Jalal's tafsir, we can see that the Jews were saying that if you hit it from the back, then the child would be born cross-eyed. Allah then made a verse in response to what the Jews were saying by describing women as a tillage where you sow your seed in, and you can have sex in whichever way you want as long as it's in the vagina. Then we have the Jalals give a bit more specifics on the ways you can have sex, such as standing up, sitting down, lying down, from the front or from the back. Now let's go to Sunan Abu Dawud 2164, as it gives the most context as why Quran chapter 2 verse 223 was revealed. Narrated Abdullah ibn Abbas, "Ibn Umar misunderstood the Quranic verse, so come to your tilth however you will. May Allah forgive him. The fact is that this clan of the Ansar, who were idolaters, lived in the company of the Jews who were people of the book. They, the Ansar, accepted their superiority over themselves in respect of knowledge, and they followed most of their actions. The people of the book, i.e. the Jews, used to have intercourse with their women on one side alone, i.e. lying on their backs. This was the most concealing position for the vagina of the women. This clan of the Ansar adopted this practice from them. But this tribe of the Qurayshi used to uncover their women completely and seek pleasure with them from in front and behind, and laying them on their backs. When the immigrants came to Medina, a man married a woman of the Ansar. He began to do the same kind of action with her, but she disliked it and said to him, "We were approached on one side, i.e. lying on the back. Do it so. Otherwise keep away from me." This matter of theirs spread widely and it reached the Messenger of Allah. So Allah the Exalted sent down the Quranic verse, "Your wives are a tilth to you, so come to your tilth however ye will," i.e. from in front, from behind, or lying on the back. But this verse meant the place of delivery of the child, i.e. the vagina. So we can see from this hadith that Quran chapter 2 verse 223 was revealed because a married couple liked to have sex in different ways. The woman liked to lay down, but the man wanted to try other things because he was an immigrant and not accustomed to only having sex with women while they lay on their back. And then Allah revealed the verse, "Your wives are a tilth to you, so come to your tilth however ye will." Additionally, when we go to Sahih al-Bukhari 4528, we get some more context onto why the verse was revealed. Narrated Jabir, Jews used to say if one has sexual intercourse with his wife from the back, then she will deliver a squint-eyed child. So this verse was revealed, "Your wives are a tilth unto you, so go to your tilth when or how you will." So from this hadith we learned that another reason the verse was revealed was because the Jews were saying if you have sex with your wife from behind, then she will have a squint-eyed child. Women are also described as a tilth in some other hadith, such as Sahih Muslim 1435a, Sahih Muslim 1435b, Sunan Abu Dawud 2163, Sunan Ibn Majah 1925, Sahih al-Bukhari 4526, 4527, Jami at-Tirmidhi 2979, and Jami at-Tirmidhi 2980. So from these Islamic sources, we can see that wives are described as a tilth, as they are the place where you sow your seed, and you can have sex with them when you want, in any position you want. Do it standing up, sitting down, lying down, from the front or from the back, as long as it's in the vagina. So in conclusion, we have seen that the testimony of a woman is equal to half of a man's because they are forgetful and they are deficient in their mind. Hell mainly consists of women because they curse too much, they are deficient in intelligence and religion, and they rob wisdom from wise people, and they are ungrateful to their husbands and good deeds people do. Prayer is annulled by the passing of a woman, and women were being compared to donkeys and dogs. Women are instructed in Islam to have sex with their husbands even if they are busy, and if a woman refuses to have sex with her husband, then the angels will curse her until the morning or until she goes back to her husband. And finally, women are compared to a tilth for their husbands to sow their seed in. So, from all the Islamic sources and evidence that I have shown today, it is clear that Islam has an unfair and negative treatment towards women. Well, that's it for today, guys. You can feel free to download this video, upload it to your monetized channels, and use it however you want. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.